The story of Prophet Yusuf al-Salam is one of the most captivating narratives in the Quran, found in Surah Yusuf chapter 12. It highlights themes of patience, faith, betrayal, hardship, and eventual triumph. Below is a detailed account of his life and the events surrounding him and his brothers. Prophet Yusuf al-Salam was the son of Prophet Yaqub al-Salam and was one of 12 brothers. He was the most beloved to his father, which made his brothers extremely jealous. One night, Yusuf al-Salam had a dream in which he saw 11 stars, the sun, and the moon bowing to him. He shared this dream with his father, who immediately understood that Yusuf al-Salam was destined for greatness. However, Yaqub al-Salam warned him not to tell his brothers about the dream, fearing that their jealousy might lead them to harm him. Yusuf's brothers were deeply envious of the love their father had for him. They plotted to get rid of him so they could gain their father's undivided attention. After much discussion, they decided not to kill him, but instead to throw him into a well and let travelers find and take him. They went to their father and falsely asked permission to take Yusuf al-Salam with them to play. Yaqub al-Salam was hesitant, fearing that a wolf might harm him, but the brothers insisted. Eventually, Yaqub al-Salam allowed Yusuf al-Salam to go. Once in the wilderness, the brothers threw Yusuf al-Salam into a deep well and left him there. They returned home with a fake story, smearing Yusuf al-Salam's shirt with false blood and telling their father that a wolf had eaten him. Yaqub al-Salam was heartbroken but placed his trust in Allah. A passing caravan of traders stopped by the well and found Yusuf al-Salam. They took him as a slave and sold him in Egypt to Al-Aziz, a nobleman who was the chief minister. Some scholars say he was the finance minister. Al-Aziz's wife, Zuleika, raised Yusuf al-Salam in her home, and he grew into a handsome and wise young man. As Yusuf al-Salam grew older, Zuleika fell in love with him and tried to seduce him. However, Yusuf al-Salam, being a pious and righteous man, resisted her advances. When he tried to escape, Zuleika grabbed his shirt and tore it from behind. At that moment, Al-Aziz entered the room. Zuleika falsely accused Yusuf al-Salam of trying to assault her. A witness from her household suggested a test. If Yusuf al-Salam's shirt was torn from the front, it meant he attacked her. If it was torn from the back, it meant he was running away. It was torn from the back, proving his innocence, but to avoid public scandal, Yusuf al-Salam was still imprisoned. In prison, Yusuf al-Salam met two inmates who both had strange dreams. One dreamt he was pressing grapes into wine, and the other dreamt he was carrying bread on his head, with birds eating from it. They asked Yusuf al-Salam to interpret their dreams. Yusuf al-Salam told them yes, the first man would be freed and return to serve the king. The second man would be executed. His interpretations came true. Before the freed man left, Yusuf al-Salam asked him to mention his case to the king, but he forgot, and Yusuf al-Salam remained in prison for several years. One night, the king of Egypt had a dream of 7 fat cows being eaten by 7 lean cats, and 7 green ears of grain alongside 7 dry ones. He was troubled and asked his advisors for an interpretation, but none could provide one. The freed prisoner remembered Yusuf al-Salam and told the king about him. Yusuf al-Salam interpreted the dream. 7 years of abundant harvest would come, followed by 7 years of severe drought. To survive, the people needed to store excess grain during the good years. The king was impressed and ordered Yusuf al-Salam release. However, Yusuf al-Salam refused to leave until his innocence was proven. The king investigated and learned the truth from Zuleika, who confessed her wrongdoing. Yusuf al-Salam was cleared of all false accusations and was appointed as the Minister of Finance of Egypt. During the famine, Yusuf's al-Salam brothers came to Egypt seeking food, not recognizing him. Yusuf al-Salam provided for them and kept his identity hidden. He asked them to bring their youngest brother, Benjamin, next time they came. When they returned with Benjamin, Yusuf al-Salam secretly placed a royal cup in Benjamin's belongings. When the cup was discovered, Benjamin was accused of theft and kept in Egypt. The brothers were distressed, as they had promised their father to bring him back safely. Judah, one of the brothers, stayed behind, while the others returned to tell Yaqub al-Salam the news. Yaqub al-Salam wept so much that he lost his eyesight from sorrow. The brothers returned to Egypt, desperate for food. This time, Yusuf al-Salam revealed his identity, saying, "I am Yusuf, your brother." They were shocked and ashamed, fearing his revenge. However, Yusuf al-Salam forgave them, saying, "No blame will there be upon you today. May Allah forgive you, and He is the most merciful of the merciful." Yusuf al-Salam sent his brothers back with his shirt and told them to place it over their father's face. When they did, Yaqub al-Salam's eyesight was restored. The entire family then traveled to Egypt. When Yaqub al-Salam and his sons arrived, Yusuf al-Salam seated his parents on a throne, and his brothers bowed to him, fulfilling the dream he had as a child. Yusuf al-Salam continued to rule Egypt with wisdom, justice, and faith in Allah. He thanked Allah for reuniting his family and keeping him steadfast. Before his death, Yusuf al-Salam requested to be buried in the Holy Land Palestine, and his request was honored generations later. Patience and trust in Allah, even in the worst hardships. Allah's plan prevails. Forgiveness, despite their betrayal. Yusuf al-Salam forgave his brothers, resisting temptation. Yusuf al-Salam remained righteous despite Zuleika's advances. Power comes with responsibility. Yusuf al-Salam ruled Egypt with fairness and wisdom. Dreams can be prophetic. Yusuf's al-Salam dream as a child came true in the end. The story of Yusuf al-Salam is a powerful lesson in faith, perseverance, and divine justice.